Hello everybody, this is Purge, bringing you guys a first-person replay commentary, and I'm going to be playing Enigma today because I love the hero. He's actually my go-to jungle hero, basically. I really honestly play him so much. Somebody asked me on Twitter, I believe, a day or two ago, they're like, why don't you make an Enigma game? I haven't played Enigma forever, and I couldn't believe it, honestly. That's too bad this doesn't show. This is Captain's Draft, by the way. I honestly play Enigma at least, like, once every 2 weeks or something like that. Like, I play Enigma all the time, and the reason I stopped posting videos is because I felt like I uploaded too many. For some reason, I always feel like I upload too many videos of the heroes that I like a lot, like and play a lot, which is like Venge Enigma, Venomancer, stuff like that. Sometimes Chen Enchantress. But apparently I hadn't made one in 6 months, so here we go, Enigma video on the way. One thing that I thought was kind of special about this game, first of all, I'm playing with Liquid TC and Blitz and Wax and Solar. I don't know those guys at all. But a couple of cool things about Enigma. He's extremely easy to jungle. Well, alright, extremely easy is a little subjective, but if you play him a little bit and you get down, if you understand the Enigma, the Eidolon micro a little bit, he's really easy to jungle. And he's actually easier to jungle now than he was in the past. And that's because Valve finally added animations to neutral creeps that cast their spells on heroes. So normally when you take control of a neutral creep with a Chen or an Enchantress or a Helm of the Dominator, it adds an animation to your cast. But the neutrals, normally when you pull through, like you'll see it sometimes, you'll pull a Centaur into a group of creeps, it'll just immediately stun, and you won't have a time, and there will be no animation. Well, they finally added like a full, nice, cool animation to the Centaurs and the Ursas. Actually, I don't know if they've done the Furbolgs yet, but they added it to the Centaur stun at least, so the Centaur stun looks cool, he jumps up and smashes down, there's a big AoE. But it actually does an animation, it's not just an instant stun like it was in the past. So this means that whenever you spawn Eidolons, you have slightly more time to micro them and split them up, and it slightly reduces the DPS output of the Ursas, or whatever. Mainly the Ursas are the main problems, they're really nasty against Enigma. So it's a very slight benefit towards that camp, and I guess not that many other ones. I mean, it's basically the Ursa. The Satyr doesn't nuke, I don't believe, unless there's 3 players. I think that's about it. So, just the Ursa. Ursa camp, which is the hardest one, is now a bit easier, so keep that in mind. Other important cool stuff. You can get a mech really fast with Enigma. I always advocate going Soul Ring into Mechanism in the jungle. You should have that with boots by around 13 minutes, if not earlier. If you get kills, you can get it a bit earlier, but most of the time you're just going to sit in jungle and you're just going to farm it and farm it and farm it and farm it and pick it up. So from there, I don't usually recommend getting a lot of different boots. Usually, I kind of just sit on brown boots for a really long time because you don't really need to upgrade your boots. There's rare situations where I would grab arcane boots, such as if you're against an EMP Invoker, but nobody ever plays those right now, so you don't really need to get arcane boots. And arcanes are kind of vaguely nice against an anti-mage or other mana drainers or whatever, but usually arcanes is completely unnecessary. With just a soul ring, you should be completely covered in terms of mana needs. So I would do usually arcane boots if you really need it, brown boots. If you want more survivability, treads is actually really nice. I like getting treads, though sometimes you can skip treads and just grab an ogre club because it's the same. It's actually more survivability to grab an ogre club, and then later make that into a BKB if you have the extra item space. That's an option. That's enough about boot choices. Let's talk about Captain's Draft really quick. You don't get to see it here exactly, it's a little weird, but basically if you guys haven't played Captain's Draft yet, and it's really cool. If you're sick of playing against Spirit Breaker every game, if you're sick of playing against Nature's Prophet every game, or whatever OP hero, go play Captain's Draft. And what Captain's Draft does is it takes all the heroes in the game and it picks 25 of them randomly, and then each team gets to pick a captain, and then the captain will ban 2 heroes, and then they will start picking from the draft. So basically, not only are 75 of the heroes completely out of the game, but you also get to ban the 2 annoying ones that you really don't want to deal with, or you think are overpowered, or you just hate. So it basically is like, it's kind of like Captain's mode, but it's has more variety because it's not just the same OP heroes that are commonly picked. And you still get to ban, and it's a little shorter drafting. So it's pretty cool, honestly. I really like Captain's Draft a lot. I played it a couple times in Dota 1, and honestly, I've been playing a lot of pubs the last 2 or 3 days, and everybody has honestly been playing Captain's Draft, which is really encouraging. I like random draft a lot as well, but unfortunately still the OP heroes are kind of there, and sometimes your lanes get messed up and people random and all those problems. But Captain's Draft is really cool. I would love to see it be really popular, so go try it out. If you guys don't want to play against Spirit Breaker every game, this is a really good way to avoid it. So yeah, people will actually pick their lanes fairly smart. I've had a couple games where things were not very good at all, but it should be okay this one. So our team is the Dire team. We have Venomancer, Mirana, Spectre, Magnus, And the last hero, believe it or not, guys, is going to be Enigma. I know, big surprise. Sorry you couldn't see the overlay, so you didn't really see what else was in the pool, but it's not that important. Basically, you just ban out the 2 heroes that you think are annoying, and then you just have to draft your team on out. So what I'm actually doing this game is an Offlane Enigma, and this is a bit different than what I normally play when I play Enigma. Almost always I do a jungling Enigma, and this basically means that I sit in the jungle for a very long time and I grab farm, and maybe I gank, and maybe I push and do whatever. This ends up being a little stronger in an offlane. I hadn't played it like this before, but I seem to remember seeing somebody do something like this in the past, and I was like, I basically just adjusted my playstyle on the fly and just to see how it went, basically. So, I was a little unsure what I wanted to buy first, starting items. I usually buy like, at least the courier, but somebody already bought all those for me, so I just decided to go with the Tango and 4 clarity potions. 4 clarity potions should easily cover you for a soul ring farm. You can get there with about 3 usually, but I just like to get 4 just to be safe, because the extra 50 gold, if something really bad happens, like if a roamer comes after me and disables a clarity potion, or if I accidentally take creep damage, then I'm going to be covered from that basically. So 4 clarity potions, I get at least 2 ironwood branches because I plan to make a mech anyways, so that gives me slight mana, slight HP, slight damage. And I just felt like grabbing a 3rd one because I was later anticipating being in the offlane, and that's why I grabbed that. So normally if you play an offlane Enigma, what you end up doing in most situations is, I'm sorry, I'm having so much fun watching this. In most circumstances in an offlane Enigma, what you end up doing is you grab a healthy amount of regen and you go to the offlane with a ton of clarity potions, and your entire goal is basically to just deny as many creeps as possible. It's kind of like playing Lich, basically. I've played that, I don't know, maybe 6 times in my life in Offlane Enigma, and it just, I don't feel like it works very well, where you just go to the offlane and you just sacrifice creeps for a really long time. Now, when you do that, you usually buy just like a ridiculous amount of clarity potions. Seriously, a ridiculous amount of clarity potions. And the idea is that you grab so many clarity potions that you can just constantly demonic convert. But eventually, you run out of clarity potions, and then you don't have the mana to continue denying, and it becomes a problem. If you're wondering what I did there, I always deny at least 1 creep mid, so that my mid ally has a very slight advantage in the lane. And then I go to the jungle, because and heal first. I heal first to regen them 170 mana, and then I go show up in the jungle. Very important on the small camp that you kill it pretty fast, because we want this to stack so I can kill it immediately again. And also important that I killed the Troll Berserker before the movement speed creep. The reason I killed the Troll Berserker first is because those do piercing damage. The Kobolds with the cup, they do very little damage. So I wanted to kill the ones that had the highest DPS because they had the best chance of killing my eidolons prematurely. So you got to keep that in mind when you play jungling heroes. I've got a Centaur here, which is a pretty easy camp to kill. I'm going to spawn eidolons. See, look, isn't a pretty animation. At this point, I select the eidolons, and I see which one's taking damage, and right before it dies, I move off. And this is a little harder to do in the very early game. That was kind of weird that he went for that kill. I'm surprised he didn't change targets to the other one, but regardless, I killed the Centaur camp. Centaur camp's dead, and I'm already almost level 3, which is really good. Looks like they were going to get a kill in the mid lane. And the creeps killed him. Mud golems are mostly no problem for Enigma, assuming that his eidolons have already been spawned. I'm obviously not microing this very well, but I'm going to spawn on one of my eidolons, because I knew the other camps are cleared, and there's a low chance of me being able to recast this one. So in every, I think, it's probably like 4 attacks or something like that, then the eidolons will duplicate. They can only duplicate up to twice.
Radiant's middle tower is
So
under attack.
I've almost got my soul ring here. I want to make sure that my eidolons always initiate the attack first, that they pull the aggro, so that I don't end up getting a clarity potion broken. And again, always micro back the low HP eidolons. It's pretty fun to micro eidolons, actually. It's kind of similar to StarCraft micro. Might lose a creep here. Yeah, I did. I remember losing this one here. So Wildkins are actually a pretty scary camp. They do the big Wildkin does chaos damage, so he hits pretty hard. It's kind of like a Centaur plus a little bit extra on top of that. So I decided just to right-click AFK because this camp was going to die anyways, and now I have a soul ring. So now that I have a soul ring, I've picked up level 4. It's almost 3 minutes basically. I'm going to send the courier back to go get the soul ring, and I'm going to shift to the bot lane finally. So my goal at this point is now to deny the Phantom Lancer. A couple thoughts about this in comparison to sitting on the off lane by myself consistently the whole time. I'm already level 4 is the important part. I can only grab that creep. I wanted to grab the catapult, but I only got the melee creep, unfortunately. Cool parts about this are that I already have a soul ring. I've had 0 chance of dying at this point. I've already guaranteed myself a level 4, so if I do get chased down, I have a better chance of surviving because I have more HP and more survivability. But most importantly, I have the soul ring already. And one other point to point out is normally when you start in the off lane, the wave will be pushing back towards your tower because you're going to be denying your creeps. And of course, when you deny your creeps, your wave is less strong than theirs. So the wave will come back towards yours. And because of the pulling... Oh, I did end up getting that one. That was cool. I almost missed this here. I almost missed the creep deny. But I decided to just ancient for now because the creep wave was still very much towards them. So it does decrease my farm rate a bit by going for this, but it's still going to be pretty good. But the important part is that supports are almost always pulling in the early game. So the first couple of levels, it's going to be hard for me to regain control of the creep equilibrium anyways because of the pulling. So... like, my chances of getting EXP are very, very low. So basically, I'd just be kind of heavily sacrificing myself to end up doing this offlane thing. I know that I'm not completely successfully ancienting there, but the goal is not to successfully kill those camps. I don't believe it's possible to really successfully kill those, to be honest. Should have grabbed that melee creep. Oh my god, it took so long. Okay, good, I did get it. Try not to let him kill your eidolons, because it is free gold here. They're worth about 30 gold apiece, something like that. So them dying is a pretty big loss, actually. And it's also a bit greedy for me to go for the catapult there. I could have just denied one of my creeps or grabbed a safer one. So I did take a lance, but whatever. I've got 2 tangos left, and the soul ring as well is going to help out in terms of EXP. So now, one cool thing about the eidolons is you can actually, they have the same attack animation, I believe, and base attack time as your hero. So in the early game, you can actually attack all with one big volley. Also, another cool thing to point out, if you deny creeps with demonic conversion while your enemy is around, it counts as a regular deny. But if you do that when he's outside of EXP range, then you obviously will just do the or it'll be gone forever. Like, nobody's going to be around to get the XP, essentially. So, it's a cool part to keep in mind. Messed up my green a little bit. Actually, it did end up working out here. But I'll just tank the large guy. He actually does a ton of damage, so... not surprising that camp's a bit hard to jungle, but it's nice to just be able to do that camp whenever the waves push back, and then when it pushes back forward again, I can come forward and grab EXP. So I've already picked up level 6. If we compare my level to the other offlane, it's a Beastmaster level 5. He's died once, and I've actually been denying a lot of experience from the Phantom Lancer. Always kill these as fast as possible with your eidolons, just because you might as well get them killed. Now I'm getting a bit worried about my survivability at this point because my tangos are now gone, and most importantly, I really don't want to die to the PL because that will snowball him a little bit. So I did something that I very rarely do, and I ended up going towards the Tranquil Boots. I maybe should have waited towards the next CS so that I could have finished the Tranquils immediately, but I'm popping my soul ring, by the way, in anticipation of demonic conversion. This lasts for 10 seconds, so you just kind of look at your cooldown of demonic conversion, and you can pretty much just say, okay, I'm going to use demonic conversion in 7 seconds, I might as well just start the soul ring early in anticipation of just getting things under control. So like right now, if I just would have waited for the courier, I would have gotten Tranquil Boots. I guess I missed both the CS, but the idea is I want Tranquil Boots and soul ring in this case because I do plan to take harass from the PL. And I never ever get Tranquil Boots on Enigma. I never get Tranquil Boots on Enigma. But I really felt like it was worthwhile this game just because of the harass that I'm anticipating from the PL. I want to make sure that I'm constantly staying full HP. It's one of the problems with Soul Ring, is that it oftentimes will keep you low HP. And again, I'm going to deny 2 creeps there. So Soul Ring usually keeps you not at full HP, and if you're playing offlane, you need to have max HP, because even a 100 HP difference can make the major change when you do end up getting dived. So I'll probably have to jack the courier here and make Tranquils. The creep wave's pushing forward again, so I'm just going to let my eidolons die in the Ancients. Maybe I'll get a CS, who knows. But whenever the wave does push up like this, it's important that I'm around to grab the experience at least. I personally really like maxing out demonic conversion first. I used to play where I would max out Malefice earlier. You don't really need to do that as much because Malefice is better at all levels now. It does 3 ticks of stuns instead of just scaling, basically. So I think it's better to just keep Malefice at 2 levels personally. It's not a big deal. But the reason I just really like demonic conversion to go up is because the eidolons have more armor, they have more HP, they do more damage. And they're all around by far your biggest damage source in the early game. So I always max demonic conversion first because it's going to give me the most farm. So I will buy Tranquil Boots here pretty soon. By the way, if you're in the jungle and you're worried about not staying full HP, and sometimes Soul Ring is a little bit too much damage over time, just buy a headdress first. If you're low HP and you really need to get the survivability up, just buy the headdress before the buckler. Usually I'll buy the buckler first if I'm jungling because I find it's enough survivability.
Dire's middle tower is
But
under
the headdress will give you 3 HP regen per second, and that should cover you. So bunches of eidolons here. Even if the PL wanted to dive me, I have so much physical damage output that I really don't have to worry about it that much. I think I'm preparing to buy a headdress. Attacked a little early there. So much damage, it's wonderful. And again, gonna deny creep, pull the eidolons back. Apparently he was ganking me. I really had no idea, but it's not safe to go out, basically. So, here comes my items. There's no point going down another CS. I honestly will just continue to control the creep wave and push things out. And this is one of the biggest benefits, I think, of doing this delayed jungle thing. The cool part is that the supports are gone at this point. Like, the supports aren't pulling anymore. At some point, the supports want to stop pulling. And this is really beneficial because I actually, I can keep the creep in my favor at this point in the game. They pinged on the Tinker, so I went in for a stun here. It's a little scary to do that, but it should be okay.
middle tower is under attack.
And there we go. Trinkle's in work, so we got a kill on the Tinker, which is pretty good. I think the PL ended up surviving, but that's fine. And now I just have crap loads of regen items. Soaring gives me 3 HP, Headdress gives me 3 HP, Tranquils naturally gives me 3 HP, so I actually have like a ring of health essentially, and this is feeling really good for the early game. I accidentally bought extra Ironwood branches, so I should technically only, I guess if I make a wand, I still don't have enough Ironwood branches, but it's really nice to have all these regen items as the offlane. Like I said, you want to stay absolute max HP if possible. Now I'm going to cast Demonic Conversion on the Catapult, because Catapult is the hardest creep to kill and we're trying to push here, so we want to keep going on this. I tried to de-aggro the Eidolons, because again, they do really good damage. In case you guys didn't know, the Eidolons cannot duplicate on towers, they only duplicate on creeps, so just try to keep them alive as long as possible. And I'll sell an Ironwood branch here, grab a TP scroll, and I'm going to go cover the top lane here, because we definitely don't want this to go away. I'm saving a bit of my money here. I could be spending it on... I tried to Eidolon that one, but unfortunately, I didn't check my cooldown before I used Soaring, but no big deal, because I can just spawn here. So I'll just kill one of these creeps here, and we'll shift back over to the jungle. So I want to try to finish my mech now. I've been slightly delayed because I've been pushing and stuff, but I can just go sit in the jungle for a bit and grab some decent CS. I'm a little worried about our opponents actually being aggressive in our jungle, so I decided to shift over for a bit. I could have just been powering through creeps at this point, but I was worried about a team fight happening. So, I can purchase my buckler now. I'm going to have the courier bring that out to me. Normally, you can kind of wait on the buckler. It's not that big of a deal for it to have this delayed. So watch the collapse now. So he actually does an animation. It's really useful. And of course, it can spawn Eidolons on the smaller one. And we'll turn this into a push now. I don't know if we saw all the heroes mid or not, but I'm going to buy a TP scroll as well, just in case, before the team fight starts here. So, pretty easy kill on the Sand King there. It's really hard to de-aero those before they die.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So, it doesn't really matter, I'll just take a bunch of damage. And now I have Buckler, so... The reason most people grab Buckler before the Headdress is because Buckler survives you, gives you a lot more burst survivability than regen over time, basically. The regen over time is pretty nice, but obviously the Buckler gives you 5 armor, and when you activate it, gives 2 armor to yourself and everything else. So it's basically a 7 armor item in the early game, which adds a huge impact towards survivability against physical damage output. That only covers me against very little on their team. It's like Beastmaster axes and right clicks from PL, but his lance does magic. You know, Lena obviously does magic, a lot of stuff like that. So the Buckler doesn't give me that much personal survivability, but just getting the mech finish is going to be really beneficial. So cool things that I accomplished this game. I'm still going to get about a 13-minute mech. I'm about 100 gold away from this. I was also able to deny EXP from the PL because I shifted to the bot lane. I shifted there. I still had the same rate of farm because the supports left the pull. So the creep equilibrium was always in my favor. I was constantly denying creeps from the PL, and even when the wave was too far away, I could bring some eidolons into the neutrals, into the ancient spots, and I could occasionally get one of the creeps. Again, it's not as efficient ancienting as it is just hopping in the jungle, because you never have to slow down your farm at all, but I was still able to get relatively fast items. And there it is, 13-minute, 20-second mech is on the courier. So now I can bring a mech, I can go push with this. I really usually like purchasing a magic stick at this point. I think at least a magic stick on Enigma is pretty nice. Sorry guys, that was me. My bad. Just DND this one.
Dire's bottom tower is under
I think grabbing a magic stick is really nice on Enigma. He's essentially a hero that wants to stay alive as long as possible in a team fight, and this is for the opportunity of black holing basically. If you don't have really good survivability as Enigma and you're trying to set up the right black hole, you're either put into an option where you die or you do an unideal black hole, and you never want to waste your black hole without getting a good channel off or potentially killing a hero with it. Just using it to save yourself, for example, like that should never happen basically. So you usually want to buy a lot of support items or survivability items that'll keep you in a pretty good spot. So I think the reason I hadn't pulled the courier out yet is because I wanted to keep farming. Will told me to go back to the bot lane at this point, probably for creep equilibrium and denying the PL from taking the tower. But again, no problem. Illusion is here. We'll kill it, and I can use Tranquils immediately afterwards, and that's going to put me at full HP. So there we go. I've got a wand now. I have a soul ring. I have a mech. I basically have 3 survivability items. I have 1000 HP. I'm level 11. I haven't died yet, and I've assisted. And this is like way more contribution than you can normally see out of a lot of offlane heroes. Actually, I could definitely see myself playing this role a lot more, just like an offlane Enigma. Start in the jungle, assuming we don't have a Bat Rider, of course, but start in the jungle, shift to the bot lane, and deny a lot of farm from their carry. It's still a little scary against some heroes, but Enigma is actually a lot safer than many other offlane heroes because he has a hard stun. He has a way to do a ton of physical damage in case you get dived. His eidolons can right click and actually pose a serious threat. When he's 6, he can make a huge team fight contribution if there's a TP support. I just love Enigma, honestly. I think he's a really strong hero. Usually when we put him in the jungle, he can make your lanes a little weak for the same reasons that Nature's Prophet makes lanes weak. It's like you have a guy that just sits in the jungle. But unlike those heroes, Enigma can actually do a lot early because of his fact of, again, stunning and a lot of physical damage output. He can push if he wants to. He is kind of a jack-of-all trades hero in a lot of ways. So I'm just going to control the bot lane. This is going to force the Phantom Lancer into just jungling. He literally can't CS in lane because I'm controlling the lane here. And our team continues to get farm. We don't have to worry about the late game too badly because we do have a Spectre. So that's one added benefit here. Unfortunately, the eidolons there, they duplicated as they started to attack on the allied creep, I think. And don't want to feed those to the Tinker, of course. As soon as the missile hits, strength will up. And unfortunately, I let the creeps hit me. So I decided to mech up because I knew I was going to get rocketed as soon as he TP'd back in again. Luckily, I dodged out of the missile range, so I didn't take extra damage there. Those were really close. Midnight Pulse is really good for clearing trees to reduce the juke time here. And there we go, we were able just to right click him down. Also helps with Magnus getting the kill. So, look at that, 11 HP per second. I was like really liking the Tranquil Boots this game, I felt so safe. I'm going to kill the catapult here. Normally you don't want to kill catapults if you have any desire to push at anytime soon, but the tier 1 tower's already gone, so I wasn't too concerned about this. I'll just kill the catapult then. So, and pretty much full HP again, so all is well. So I was able to use Malphus to stop the TP. It was a nice ulti from Spectre there. And my Midnight Pulse was really late now that I was watching it after the fact, but at the time I was a little surprised that a kill was able to be made there. But as soon as I stopped his TP, it really screwed him over, because I don't know how much mana he had, but he unlikely had enough to survive. And I believe we're going to try to Roshan at this point. When you are Roshaning, make sure that your eidolons duplicate. If your eidolons do not duplicate, then you can't cast demonic conversion on them. When they duplicate, they add slightly more time. That's a really nice arrow by Blitz there. But when they duplicate, you have to make sure that they end up... when you're trying to Roshan, you have to make sure that they duplicate. Otherwise, there won't be enough time to cast demonic conversion upon themselves, and they really are a huge damage percentage. It was at this point that I realized I was completely blocking everything in. And then I started moving them a bit more. Alright, so we take Roshan. I don't think they got any tactical advantage from this other than some lane control. So I think we'll be okay here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
We're a little worried about top going down. I could TP this, I don't have mech for about 7 seconds, but regardless, my survivability is pretty good. And I'm going to the right slightly because I was worried about their positioning in the jungle. I did see them retreat, so I was a little feeling okay for now. And then I was going to spawn eidolons, and I realized I didn't have the cooldown, so I'll just go shift to the lane for some XP. I'm going to kill the catapult so it does less damage to the tower. And it looks like the team fight's going to be okay anyways, so. Didn't want to take any of the CS from the Spectre, of course. I believe our Spectre did have a Radiance on the way. Let's see. Yeah, he's got a Relic, and the Courier has a Radiance coming, I believe. So he went Phase Bracer Wand into a Radiance. Our team is pretty darn farm. Most of their heroes actually don't even have fancy boots up. Lena's going for fast duels for whatever reason. Maybe to be able to disable me is one of the options, but Empower and Spectre is also very, very strong. So, and there it is. Radiance is all finished. What is my stat growth, by the way? 2.1 for strength is pretty good. Agility is pretty horrible, and the 3.4 for int is actually really good. So, int gain is awesome. Enigma's int gain is pretty awesome. So, items from here. I definitely have my core. Like I said, most games I'll skip Tranquil Boots and I'll just go Mech Wand or Mech Magic Stick with a Soul Ring. Most games I actually don't even make a full Magic Wand. I'll just use a Magic Stick for a very long time. But this game I felt like doing a Wand apparently because I had extra Ironwood branches. But from here you have a couple options. Number one, usually you grab a Black King Bar or a Blink Dagger. One of the two. One or the other. In this case, I believe I skipped the BKB for the reason of Beastmaster Roar goes through BKB, so I didn't really want to make a BKB because there was a pretty good chance of me being countered by it anyways. This isn't the best reasoning because they have Alina and SK, both of which who could disable me. But I think I said, alright, I don't want to get a BKB at least. I usually don't like picking up a BKB. Some games I'll like grabbing BKB without Blink, with the idea that they'll just walk into it kind of, but that doesn't often happen very much. So I think this game I went straight for Blink immediately afterwards, mostly because I'm doing much better than average. And among other things. We were really close to killing that guy. If he blocked him at all, we would have gotten the kill, I think. I thought the Hawk might be up there. I was close to it, I think, but the Hawk was a little bit to the left. I really wanted to Eidolon the pig, but I realized that you can't do it for some reason. I thought that you would be able to, but apparently you can't.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So TC's gonna go stop the push with his Radiance. I'm sure the reason he went Radiance is because he was against a PL. And any AoE really helps a lot against that hero. We're definitely considering pushing in here for the wave, but it's really hard against a Tinker. Tinker PL is actually a pretty normal combo. What the idea is that Tinker will just spam March at any place where they're trying to push, and this will give you time for your PL to get really farmed. In late game, you should lose, basically. So while we're waiting around, I said I could be jungling or farming, so I just sent the Eidolons from the jungle. I'll be able to pick up some CS here, if they don't all die, of course. Looks like they actually caught a hero. So it worked out pretty well. So what happened there that we didn't catch on the camera? The Beastmaster was arrowed, so the Magnus blinked in and then skewered him back and then do a Starfall, which is actually a really good combo. It's like looking for picks, essentially.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, at least he killed all the
Radiant's
eidolons,
middle
right?
tower has fallen.
Guys? Midnight Pulse is an attempt to work down some of the eidolon or the PL HPs, and as you can see, it's actually doing a lot of damage to them. I wasn't really sure which one was the real one. This is the best way to slow down pushes as Enigma, is to just drop the Midnight Pulse. It doesn't seem like a lot, but 6% of your total HP is actually pretty significant. Even if you think about having, what, 1,000 HP? Let's say an average hero has 1,000 HP at this point in the game, which is the case. My Midnight Pulse at 5% would be doing 50 damage per second in that large AoE, which is pretty good. It's like a moderately strong Ion Shell, basically. Yeah, it's pretty ideal to combo with Black Hole, but you don't always get that opportunity. But when it does work out like that, it can be really good. It can be a serious damage output. Especially when you think that Black Hole is channeled for 4 seconds, and at level 4 Midnight Pulse, that's 24% of somebody's total HP, so it can be quite a huge damage output. Got a Lena over here, so I kind of wanted to try to pick her off. I could possibly solo kill her, especially with eidolons around. If I had eidolons around, I definitely could, but... Sending one eidolon over to kill the ward that we had vision on. And back to the jungle. I was looking for blink opportunities. Decided to bring the eidolons forward. So we saw the illusion here. I thought it was real.
Tower is under attack.
We were able to get the kill. So, as soon as, alright, we knew that illusion that we killed. As soon as I stunned it, it was obvious that it wasn't the fake. But as soon as he threw the lance and he popped up like that, we knew that he had broken his invis, and he was probably going to be on cooldown for a bit. Whenever PL does that, you have to jump on him immediately. And Blitz landed the nice arrow, so I knew I had a setup. So I dropped the Midnight Pulse and I Black Holed him for damage. And that was a very, very huge kill, because number one, it started the team fight with the PL down. It allowed Spectre to use his ulti and pick off a support hero. And among that, TC was spreading out there so that the Burrow Strike didn't hit you, by the way, in case you... That was a very important distinction of what he just did there. You might have been like, oh, why? It's no big deal, he's just walking, but it's a big deal. So yeah, Black Holes basically in the early game shouldn't necessarily be used to... They don't really have to be used just to like grab 5 heroes. You can use them for solo kills on important heroes as well. And it's not that big of a loss, because early game, you don't really need huge team fights as much, because carries on average, they don't carry as hard. So like, I'm not explaining this very well. In the early game, a carry isn't as scary as they are in the late game. So usually you don't need to like one-sided win a team fight. As long as you pick off like one guy per hero, something like that, it can make a big difference. I feel like I'm still doing a really shitty job of explaining this. Basically, take the solo kills that you can get. If you can get kills, it's awesome, and it prevents them from snowballing. It gives you slight snowball. It's like the beginning of the snowball. That's why you should do it. Is that good? No, it still sucks. I feel like my point's still not being made. My original argument is why is black holing? Why is it acceptable to only black hole? Or I proved that point. Or at least I reasoned that point. The next argument was, why is it not important? Why are big AoE black holes more important late game? Maybe it's because, maybe it's the same carry vein, like, carries do so much damage that if you can disable 5 heroes for 4 seconds, it's like a team fight win. I don't know, something like that. I think I'm just gonna give it up. I give up. Anyways, we killed the PL, that was pretty cool, wasn't it? Killing PL is a big deal. It's pretty cool. We still ended up catching one. Alright, he ended up picking up both anyways. A little unsure what the Sand King was doing there. That was pretty weird.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But from here, we should just snowball the win. In case you guys didn't figure it out yet, we're in a pretty big advantage. I know the game was a little one-sided, but I thought there were tons of principles of Enigma that I thought were pretty well proven this game. I'm even feeling strong enough where I can easily contest the PL by myself. Again, I'm going to drop Midnight Pulse.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Dominating.
And the nice part is that we're so far ahead that it doesn't really matter that I backed off here. The most important part is just to prevent the split pushing, basically.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Alright, so now I've got 3,000 gold. Item purchase at this point, I've already got Blink Dagger. I could go BKB. I think I decided to build a Lincoln Sphere. If this game was actually close, I would have just built the Lincolns. That's really nice. He's gonna die anyways, but it was really nice. Got the peel and the sinking. The reason I would build the Lincolns in this case is because Lincolns does stop Roar. It stops the Sanking stun. I don't think it stops Lena's stun. It would stop her Yules. It would stop like a missile or maybe a laser from Tinker, which could be problematic. But plus I'm like super rich and I haven't died yet, and I have like 5 assists and everything is going pretty well. I haven't actually been in that many team fights this game. Spectre's been contributing the most at 20 kills and assists, but I'm still helping a lot. Like just keeping my farm up and having core items up like Mech and Blink just gives you a lot of advantage. So unfortunately my allies dove to their deaths, so we're gonna have to wait a bit of time before the game ends, but this gives me more time to farm, and farming is great, isn't it? Dark Trolls are actually pretty scary as well for jungling in the early game, because if the skeletons spawn, they actually do pretty significant damage output, so that's probably the second scariest camp behind the Ursa, or the Forbolg champions, or whatever the heck they're called now. Was PL typing LOL to his allies for whatever reason. Monogolems again, not that bad actually. As long as you spawned your eidolons already, then they're not that bad. So I think the goal was take Roshan and then end the game. We actually only took 1 Rax out of that. I thought we took 2, but we only had 1. I'm about to hit level 16 as well, so my black hole will get better. A quick point about black hole, you actually don't have to level this up if you don't want to. The main benefits of leveling up is that the cooldown goes down slightly. I was trying really hard to blink on this guy for quite a while. Couldn't believe that he was there. That was really weird. I actually didn't really need to mech this that bad because TC has a heart at this point, so as soon as Roshan dies, he'll get fully healed anyway, so it's a bit of a waste to mech there. But I've got level 16. Oh yeah, the other benefits of leveling this up is it actually does a lot more damage. Can do up to 140 max damage per second, which is huge. It means you're doing like 600 damage just by channeling Black Hole on top of somebody. That's amazing. With Midnight Pulse on top of that, you're actually talking about a pretty serious damage output ability.
I can't take much more of this.
That's such a good kill. The illusions kept dying to the refraction as well as the radiance burn. So once all the illusions were dead, then the main peel was taking all the damage output. Try to let my eidolons duplicate. They're not gonna make it.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
Alright, so yeah, the game's gonna end. We're probably gonna win this. I'm sure you guys are excited about this. I'm bringing the Lincoln Sphere to myself right now, actually. Just have to go buy the other 2 items, and the courier should have the recipe and the perseverance. Because dang it, I just want to have my Lincoln Sphere finished.
Middle tower is under attack.
Because somebody's gonna look at this end game screen and they're gonna be like, damn, he even had a Lincoln Sphere. And there it is.
Radiant's
Bam.
ancient is under
Are my items
attack.
beautiful? Got him. These masters are just like sprinting in there. Get some PLs in there too somewhere. So pretty good Enigma game. Dare I say perfect? Did I make mistakes? I'm sure I made mistakes. Nothing too bad though. But it was a pretty fun game. So yeah, try him in this method before or sometime. Especially if it's against a hard carry that you're worried about getting way too much CS. I was really happy with how this worked out. Jungle till you're 4 and you have a soul ring. Make sure you pull creeps back and stack them as you're killing them, and then shift to the bot lane. Grab Tranquil Boots immediately after the soul ring. And you should be able to keep your HP high enough where you can continue denying, and hopefully they won't be able to charge and kill you. Scary heroes that might cause problems with this might be like Spirit Breaker or something like that. If Spirit Breaker charges from a support role, you might be scary. If it's like a Spirit Breaker through the lane, just make sure you stun him as he's approaching you. I really like Enigma versus Spirit Breaker, by the way, because usually when you grab a blink, you can easily blink disable his charge, and that helps a lot. Other than that, some other scary heroes. Luna might be a little tough. She could probably work you down a bit, and she would probably last hit your eidolons a lot. Who's another hero that has good AoE? Someone that can kill the eidolons pretty easily is somebody that's actually pretty problematic, so you might have to worry about that. If anybody has some kind of an AoE and they can nuke down your eidolons pretty easily, it might be a little tough, but I'm having trouble thinking of hero matchups that would have trouble against this, so regardless, try them out sometime. I actually farmed a lot. I farmed the second most, more than the mid hero even. His GPM was a lot higher because he got way more kills, but I did contribute a lot towards making sure my farm was up. I got core items that helped the team, and I denied EXP from the PL, so very important. EXP and last hits, so. Alright, that's Enigma. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned a lot. He's definitely one of my best heroes in all of Dota, by far. Like, definitely my top 5, so I hope you guys enjoyed the game and learned a lot, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.